Hi, it's Julia James Davis, and welcome to The War on Beauty. Okay, so today I am going to be talking about the new 90-foot sculpture statue to the Hindu god Hanuman in Houston, Texas, which is now the nation's third tallest statue. Why I think this is so important is not that these Hindus decided they needed to create the third tallest statue to their god, but rather because it's their private property, they can spend however much money they want um, to make that statue. They have their First Amendment rights and freedom of religion and expression. But I think that this points to a much larger problem happening with our civic and public art. There has been an attack on public art, replacing our monuments, depicting our nation's history with DEI propaganda. So I'm going to get into that now. So as of August 2024, over 160 Confederate monuments have been removed from public spaces, most of this happening since the George Floyd riots in 2020, and with hundreds more slated to be removed. And it's not just Confederate monuments, but it's also monuments to Christopher Columbus, who they have removed 40 Christopher Columbus monuments since 2020, and even removing monuments and statues to our founding father, George Washington. How could anyone have a problem with George Washington? I don't know. But it's not just political leaders or explorers that they're attacking systematically, but even they are attacking statues to Saint Junipero Serra, who is a Catholic saint and the founder of the mission system in California. And I'm saying the word they because this has all happened in and around 2020. These figures have been removed from the public space. They have been branded as white supremacist, European colonial monuments, and they have been removed. These riots also coincided in 2020 with Sean King calling for all depictions of European Jesus to be destroyed because that fueled white supremacy and was an example of European colonialism in our public art. So you can see that since 2020, there has been not only just an attack on our political and civic monuments, but also this is a religious thing too. This is a religious attack on our art. In my opinion, this is a culture coup, a highly strategized and thought out removal and replacement of our American history and culture, which also includes, because we're a majority Christian country, Christian monuments. And I started to think about all this because I was thinking, well, okay, the Hindus erected their 90-foot statue in Houston. Great for them. But where are our normal, beautiful, I'm not calling them not normal, I'm just saying where are our patriotic statues and monuments that we used to build at a time in our country a long time ago? Where are those new monuments? Why aren't we building them? Why aren't we building anything beautiful and for our civic spaces? Well, when I started to look into this, I found out that in 2020, the Mellon Foundation, one of the wealthiest charitable foundations in the world with an endowment of $8 billion, launched the Monuments Project to, quote, transform the nation's commemorative landscape to ensure our collective histories are more completely and, quote, accurately presented. What does that mean? Accurate to them, accurate to the Mellon Foundation. What does that mean? Well, in 2023, they put forth $500 million to this initiative to support efforts to express, elevate, and preserve the stories of those who have often been denied historical recognition and explore how we might foster a more complete telling of who we are as a nation. They end all this by saying the story that they're trying to paint of America is a more inclusive story. So it sounds like to me they are rewriting history, our American history, using propagandistic art. All of the statues just happen to be torn down, making space for their new statues, painting a very woke version of history in America. So here are a few of the many monuments that the Mellon Foundation has funded and erected in our public civic spaces. The first one actually is in a religious space in the Washington National Cathedral. These are the Now and Forever windows, which replaced the stained glass windows in this cathedral, which depicted General Robert E. Lee and Stonewall Jackson kneeling and praying, reading the Bible. They have depicted that image and replaced it with racial-themed stained glass of protesters holding up signs that say no, no, and fairness and no foul play. Another monument that they have built is called the Great Wall of Los Angeles, which is now one of the world's largest murals. It is 2,754 feet long, depicting themes of immigration, exploitation of people and land, and women's rights, and class distinctions and racial equity. So there's a very clear theme going on here of replacing American history with themes that divide Americans, racial themes, themes of class, gender, instead of ones that should bring us together, like George Washington or Christopher Columbus. And this one foundation, it's a private foundation, has taken over the funding and erection of public civic art, and it's clear that they have such a strong agenda, so we just have to go based on what they think is the right version of historical events. Instead of having the United States fund and erect civic art, we are having the Mellon Foundation do it, and do it according to their version of American history, how they want it. On their website, one of their other major projects outside of the Monuments Project is their $125 million fund, I guess, that they've set aside to, quote, dismantle incarceration. This is all really important, and for me, in my opinion, I think it should be a point of public outrage that our American history is being systemically erased, and a single foundation, the Mellon Foundation, is having the sole hand in replacing it with their DEI version of history. This is a new mass propaganda campaign, and to me, that is something that should really be talked about, because so many hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people are going to be passing by this civic art that is telling a false version of history, and that is what is going to be accepted as the new history. So this is something we should all be very concerned about and noticing. And if you're interested in more videos like these where we're talking about art and architecture and the importance of that in our nation to build up, beauty and patriotism and all the things that bind us together as Americans, please follow me. I'm going to be talking about this in my series, The War on Beauty, and how beauty has been used as a weapon in this cultural war. And it's something that I believe is so important. So please follow me, and thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.